Hello, everyone. It's 11:06 p.m. at night, still on Thursday. So, excuse me. I wanted to live stream again, but I think it's well. I'm feeling like it's too late for me to live stream tonight because I didn't want to disturb the hotel neighbors. With the stalkers would trigger me and try to upset me or whatever. But so I'm just doing a regular video. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Um, I'm just doing a regular video. Um, excuse me. So thanks so much to y'all who pitched in to help me with the hotel room. And yes, I was able to. I'm thankful and glad that I was finally able to. I'm glad that the discount was still available. You know. So, um, I'm tired enough. I'm sleepy and tired enough that I think I'm gonna end up going to bed earlier tonight. So I'm so tired that I'm probably gonna try to not be on here extra long. You know, but I have some things I wish I could talk about or that I want to talk about. But yeah. Well, I got here um after 7 o'clock this evening, and the perping was really really heavy. You know, and especially the closer I got to the hotel, the worse the perping got. Excuse me. And they had a guy that did some perp activity that I can't say right now. But like I came here, put my stuff down, and took a shower, and then I ordered dinner, and well, I had an incentive that if I purchase, you know, something at this certain restaurant, if I purchased something, then I was able to have a reward to get a dessert for free, and everything tasted really good, you know, and but I could, for some reason, my appetite wasn't that big tonight. Like, I didn't get my food until later, but everything was so good. Um, but I um I couldn't eat everything, so I put what I couldn't eat. I put the leftovers in the refrigerator, and I'm planning to eat it tomorrow. Um, excuse me. I'm planning to eat it tomorrow. Excuse me. And so, um, yeah, since I came here like after 7 o'clock, and then I took a shower, and then I ordered my food, and it took a while for it to come. But I was waiting around for my food to come, but I didn't get the opportunity to work on my writing like I wanted to. But even if it's 2 chapters of Bible listening, I would. Excuse me. When I get off here, I'm gonna try. I mean, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna do it. Excuse me. So excuse me. So they make my mouth above my mouth itch a little bit. But I'm glad that I remembered to tell y'all that somewhat towards the end of me taking my shower, they squeezed my organs again. You know. Excuse me. So um excuse me. So I mean, you know, like about all these rejections and setbacks and stuff in my life, in my targeted life. You know, I'm. Let me make my nose itch. I'm trying to not feel discouraged. And it's very hard for me to try to practice to not feel bitter. You know, excuse me. It's very hard for me to not feel bitter and upset. You know, or for me to have a grudge. I mean, you know, hard for me to not have a grudge. You know, but why don't I have a right to be angry? Angry, hurt, disappointed, sad, confused. You know, excuse me. But it's like when there's good going on in my life, society wants to punish me. But then when there's bad going on in my life, they want to punish me even harder on top of what I'm going through. It's like I'm supposed to be just in the middle with everything, you know. But yeah. So excuse me. So I mean, I feel really upset about what the gang stalking cult criminals can get away with every day. Every day. But the slightest perception of me doing something wrong, I get treated like as if I blasphemed the Holy Spirit. Like the smallest little thing is like disgraceful and unforgivable, you know. But it's like if they're participating in a crime called gang stalking, and nobody's restricting them from having a car and driving. They make my nose and everything itch. But I'm being prevented from having a job because of being illegally swatted and falsely accused and having to fight fake criminal charges in court and pay out more money despite being homeless. And they're hoping that they can jail and traffic me. You know. So, yeah, well, I, I mean, I tried, seeing about if I could get a job to work for Uber, but even if all the background checks came out clear, um, I'm wondering if, excuse me, I'm wondering if me being homeless would have prevented me from renting a car to drive for them. You know, I tried in 2017, 18, whatever, to drive for Uber, and I wasn't homeless at the time, but it was a financial struggle to get the funds to rent a vehicle to start driving for them. And then people said that basically if you drive for Uber and Lyft and Uber Eats, DoorDash, or whatever, they said that it's new age wage slavery. Or that people end up, they think that they would do a good job to work for Uber and Lyft, and then they end up becoming homeless afterwards and being overworked to like 72 to 80 hours a week to make ends meet. But excuse me, last I checked, that I'm still eligible to order from Uber Eats or take Uber rides, but all because of fake criminal charges and being lied on. I'm being like wrongfully hindered. But as I said, excuse me, I went to the temp service place today and try to see about a job opportunity, and it seems like they do things differently now than they did in 2017, 18, 19. And then I've had it happen to me with Global Staffing, so I will never work for them for the rest of my life. But I'm hearing multiple horror stories about how these tip service jobs in New Orleans have people work long hours and work these events and stuff, and then a whole bunch of people work and don't get paid. So that frightens me, to for the idea of dealing with temp service again. But it's like I can't get or find a regular normal job, and then with the fake criminal charges, I for sure can't get jobs in housing. And people said that if there are pending criminal charges, that shouldn't prevent me from working. They said that that's discriminatory, and that's wrong, and that I mean, I shouldn't be prevented until after I'm convicted or whatever, But hopefully I won't be convicted because I didn't do what I was falsely accused of. And I hope and still praying that they would drop the fake criminal charges against me, excuse me. But if I do or say something that's really wrong, even if it's not criminal, but if I do or say something that's considered morally wrong, you know, I emotionally beat myself up about it and feel like I can't even forgive myself, you know, or feel like I can't even live with myself. So, I mean, if I feel like, you know, but anyway, excuse me. So, yeah, I have not even been convicted, and hopefully they drop the false criminal charges, and then society is treating me like I am guilty already. You know, so is this part of the Christian persecution to be seen by society as a criminal because you're falsely accused of things by a satanic cult? That's the real criminals. And you know but so excuse me. But yeah, I'm sitting here fighting out unwanted intrusive thoughts with my OCD. I'm fighting out unwanted thoughts right now. But the stalking cult, I screenshot their threats about using witchcraft to destroy and murder me. So I didn't get to work on any fiction writing today, but I did write a blog post. It was nonfiction blog. It was nonfiction blog, but I did it for targeted individual documentation purposes. But they make my nose itch. But yeah. So I thought that I would get to have a solution before October with the living situation. I did not. I didn't want to end up being on the streets for the winter. So, but with that temp service job, I was told that I have to wait until after I'm saying fake, because they are fake criminal charges. I have to wait until the fake criminal charges are resolved. And then hopefully if the charges are dropped. And if they're dropped, I guess, if the charges are dropped, then I could go back over there. And they told me I could do the onboarding and orientation and filling out the I-9 paperwork. And they told me that I have to show up to orientation in that uniform. The black button down long sleeve blouse black slacks and a belt and black shoes and socks or whatever, you know. Excuse me. But I have to wait, and I didn't you know, I didn't show my, like, I did videos, but I didn't publicize the videos of me walking to and or from the temp service place because of the stalkers. If they would call up there and slander me and maybe, you know, tell them to gang stalk me or tell them to not hire me or something, you know, or tell them to not let me work or tell them to not give me, you know, work opportunity. But those are the same ones who harass me, telling me go get a job. And there was something else I needed to say, but it slipped my mind. But when I was in Bloomington, Texas, I had just got there. It was April of 2023, and I had a excuse me, a job interview in Victoria, Texas, which is close to Bloomington. I mean, you know, Bloomington is part of the Victoria, Texas metro area. And I forgot what the name of the county was, but when I tried to get a job with Cricket Wireless with the cell phones, and there was a perp that immediately went behind my back and told the manager to not hire me, you know. And they had a place, like a Italian restaurant in like kind of close, not exactly downtown, but kind of close to downtown Pensacola, Florida. And then also at the beach job, it seemed like the gang stalking cult, they be on my ass, following me heavy when I would go job hunting, looking for opportunities, and, you know, job hunting and going to interviews and stuff. And they follow me really heavy. And then after the interview, I don't even have to be like, well, I got a job interview tomorrow. But, you know, I could say nothing and quietly go to the job interview and not film or record or whatever. And then there would be a fake Freemason perp or whatever that walk in immediately after I walk out of the interview, and immediately they walk in and tell them, you know, not to hire me. And other people in the TI community have said that that the gang stalkers pay potential employees, potential employers to not hire the target for work. Excuse me. That they get paid, that, you know, the hiring managers get paid to not hire you, you know. And yeah, and they had a job at the beach in Pensacola. If it wasn't Alvin's, then I don't remember one of those. No, it wasn't Alvin's. It was another store at the beach in Pensacola that I tried to get a job, and they had a set of perps that came right behind, you know. And they also do this to you when you're trying to get housing, and the Freemasons will tell potential landlords and stuff to not rent to the target. Or if they allow you a job or housing, they won't allow you to have it until or unless it's a gang stalking setup to set you up to be workplace mobbed or mobbed out of your home, and for you to end up continuing to be forced to be poor and homeless, you know. So, I mean, people are trying to control how they think I should be living and try to force me to be normal, and think that getting a job is so easy. They think getting a job is so easy and simple. And excuse me, the last job I actually worked was the Piccadilly job in February 2024, last year. And it was, I think, November of last year. Take 5 car wash on Veterans and Metairie. They did not hire me. I had the interview. That was the last job interview that I had. And, me being illegally swatted in December and then again in January. And when it happened in January, I got wrongfully arrested and thrown in jail shortly after the new year. And then me being wrongfully banned from so many places, just fighting to survive. And then they illegally swatted me again precisely 4 months later, May 9th. And had me wrongfully arrested and thrown in jail. Excuse me. So now, being illegally swatted and all, so, like, the fake court dates, once on September 29th, and then the other one on October 8th. And and the fake public offender kept dragging the court dates. This should have been over. And then for the month of me and my twin sister's birthday, having 2 court dates back to back in the same week. And I wasn't allowed to feel a certain way or have any kind of meltdown or nothing. They're trying to do me in, and they keep trying to destroy me. And it's like, and then they have abusive narcs that try to control how I live, or how they try to control how they think I should be living, and saying that me being in this situation is unacceptable, and then they want to blame me for it, and then try to force me to be normal. And I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm disabled on top of that. Excuse me. So they trying to, the gang stalking cult put me in this predicament. And then people make it like it's my fault that I'm in this predicament, and that, that I'm a disgrace to society for being in this predicament. The fake foster mom didn't want me to work or with a job or whatever. They didn't want me with nothing. And to deal with forced low income and job rejections, and so the stalking cult, they're hoping that I will be sitting in jail, and they brag about how they hope that the judge will throw the book at me. But if the fake criminal charges are dropped, excuse me, if the fake criminal charges are dropped, if, and I get to go back out in society, and if I don't go to jail, or have to do time in jail or prison, so how am I supposed to, if abusive narcissistically lecturing me, telling me that I better not go to the court and cussing and this and that, when they trigger my Tourette's and upset me and stuff. Excuse me. And telling me that I better go to court. I'm exhausted and I'm tired. If I'm wrongfully convicted, how the hell am I supposed to act? Y'all would be upset too. But people expect me to be an emotionless robot about what all the torture I'm going through. That I'm not that I get criminalized for having any feelings. Excuse me. But if I do survive, if I don't have to go to court, I'm sorry, don't have to do time in jail or whatever. And what if they don't take me to jail, but if they put fake high amount of fees I have to pay, whatever, and I don't have, they said that if I don't have the money, then I will end up going to jail if I get wrongfully convicted. But if I get out, if the charges are dropped, excuse me, if the charges are dropped, if the charges are dropped, I don't know how soon I could get any job, but if I don't get any job, I don't know how I can, I don't know how I can, excuse me, if the charges are dropped and I don't get to have a job, then I was trying to figure out, if there was a way for any if any supporters could because they were doing this for me like back in 2020, late 2021, early 2022, after I got workplace mobbed off the temp service job, and they had people who supported me and kept me in that cheap motel that was $350 a week until the fake T.I. Patricia Jerome came and ruined everything. And then everybody turned against me. I got no support and had to suffer. And after dealing with her, me receiving death threats every day from perps for 2 weeks. Every day. And excuse me. It's a shame how these people go behind closed doors. Like they pretend to be Christian and targeted, but behind closed doors they gang stalkers that practice witchcraft. And then they don't get success and survival by working at the grocery store. Their fake success comes by casting spells or doing spells or whatever, and rituals, satanic rituals. So, excuse me. So, like, the gang stalking cult won't let me have housing or a job for a long time. And now I'm even more limited on what hotels and motels I could get here in New Orleans. But I want to stay in my hometown because I had felt homesick, you know. So, like, for the winter, I was wondering, like, I don't even know if I would have enough supporters to help me, continue to donate and help me stay in a hotel or a motel and stay off the streets and help me with whatever I need to survive while I can simultaneously work on writing, or at least try, But but then if I was in some place where I can get a little better and then maybe try cooking videos, the stalkers will illegally, find out where I'm at and try to have me wrongfully kicked out and banned. So, in the meantime, between now and the court dates, I've been fighting for help off the streets, and I feel bad and sorry to be a burden, but I've been fighting for help with hotel nights off the streets every night or every day because they have been more gung-ho with, trying to murder me and trying to set me up. And then the cheaper hotels, that I'm not wrongfully banned from, it seemed like they found malicious ways to raise the prices. But then they want to lie and falsely accuse me of scamming and committing fraud. When you blocked me from employment, housing, whatever, you got me wrongfully banned from all the shelters and multiple hotels and restaurants and coffee shops and malls. They kept trying with the libraries, So, but if there was, an opportunity for me to earn money, they're blocking me with my YouTube and my writings, but I still keep trying anyway. I don't get much. And the Ko-fi website encourage you and let you know here's a way you can earn money and earn a living. But the stalking cult keep me suppressed. And then the fact that I'm not one of the popular fakes in the so-called conspiracy community or the TI community, so what I write would get little to no recognition. And then they use witchcraft to get their popularity and go viral and stuff like that, after selling their soul. But nobody's interested if you, speaking the truth about things, or you're not considered as well respected, you know. I mean, so many people want to join cults, but nobody wants to discuss exposure and trying to avoid them, you know. But I mean, the forced homelessness and the targeting and the attacks and setups and the undeserved swatting in jail is holding me back big time from my writing goals and my writing attempts. And then people make it like as if I'm out of my fucking mind to expect to earn a living with my writings. And they think that I have to have a handler to control my way of living, you know. Or they make it like you don't want to get housing, you don't want to get an apartment, and you just choose a lifestyle of scamming and committing fraud and living off of other people's hard-earned income, and you don't want to make change, you don't want to improve, and then when I say that the stalkers are blocking and hindering me, then you say that I'm making excuses. Or, you know, so I mean, even from me graduating from college, and then all the way through, which was 2006, all the way through to like 2017. Well, actually 2000. Well, I don't even know if the cab driver should count. Well, I should say 2018. Basically, about 11 and a half years of like absolutely no employment, no work, no nothing. Why? Because even after graduating from college, you know, I was living in Denton, Texas, and well, in New York, after I graduated, they kept holding me back and didn't want me to work or have a job, and kept telling me I could not have a job, or I wasn't allowed to have a job. And they forced me against my will into this homeless shelter system. You know, I didn't realize that I could have had a right or the freedom to just leave New York and get away from that. But I guess I was determined, hoping for a Spanish translation career straight out of college. You know, and then I had a lot of abuse go on. You know, I have a bachelor's degree, and it's like so many people that's just been holding me back. You know, and then want me to blame myself. You know, and but yeah. So I don't want to experience a third winter on the streets, being tortured and cold. And then, you know, for the stalkers to, you know, maliciously lie and have me wrongfully permanently banned from places for nothing. So if that's the case, you know, and I get wrongfully punished or persecuted every time if I try to say, well, you know, this gang stalking neighbor did this to me. Oh, and I'm the one who's getting wrongfully evicted and considered the trash neighbor or the Karen neighbor, you know. But, yeah, well, I kind of woke up a little bit because I was very sleepy and tired when I came on here. But it's 11:50 right now, and you know, from the donations that I got. Um, I still have some. From what I got earlier, I still have. I'm not gonna say the amount, but I still have some funds left over. But I mean, I need help to make ends meet for more nights because, as I said, I'm fearing for my life, and they're trying to do me in, and they're trying to kill me. And y'all won't believe it until after I'm dead, or y'all will falsely make it like I started the trouble or I brought it on myself, or that I fucked around and found out, or I'm the one who plays stupid games and wins stupid prizes, when it's not what y'all observe on the outside or what you think you see. It's something deeper behind that. But I love y'all, and you know I mean, and they have certain people that falsely assume that when it comes to trying to get out of my homeless situation, they falsely accuse me of not trying. When I've tried all the best I know how and all I know how. You know, but then they think that I'm making excuses when I say that the perps keep suppressing me. But I'm gonna get off here. I wish I could talk longer, but I'm gonna try to, I don't know if I can try to live stream tomorrow morning or not, but I'm gonna listen to the Bible, even if it's 1 or 2 chapters. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all. But y'all won't see this video until tomorrow morning.